Hello everyone, this is Shiny Noctowls, and tonight it'd be nice to stream some more 2004Scape for you guys. It'd be nice to see if I can... Oh wait, hold on. Sorry about that guys. Let me get the chat up here. I kinda lost track for a sec there. Nah. Wait. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I'm just trying to message people to see if they want to watch the stream. Definitely been good. Oh, no one's at Thugs tonight, which is nice. Let's see. Hopefully the audio is good and everything like that, guys. I want to let you guys know I've been getting a lot of good sleep lately, which I definitely needed. I think I might be growing a little bit taller again, which is, I know it's strange because I'm like 31 years old. But yeah, I think maybe I'm finally having the finalizing my growth spurt. Not sure. Because like I've been trying to gain weight for the last almost 8 months now, and I've kind of struggled to, and I usually know that I struggle when I kind of go into like a growth spurt. But yeah, no, I'm feeling much better now. I've just needed a lot of good sleep. Helped out. Yeah, maybe I'll get someone to watch. Oh, meh. Glad you could join the stream, meh. I've been trying to get, I don't know what it is. I don't know if, because usually I have quite a few people watching the stream, but I don't know if things have changed lately because I've kind of been off and on these last few months. But yeah, I tried to message Hendrix and Matt if they wanted to watch the stream, but I didn't get anything from Hendrix, and I think Matt might be doing other things. But yeah, I'm glad I could have you here, Matt. Always nice to have someone in the stream. Hopefully the audio is good and everything like that. Yeah, it's nice to have a spot with thugs tonight, because usually I tend to have a good spot with thugs. But the last time I streamed, it was kind of tough to find a spot. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to think. Who was the person who had a pulse over there? I'm trying to think who was the person who had the alt the chaos druid alt. I don't know if it was Matt or. This time is good for getting spots. Yeah. Yeah, it's not peak hours to play from us. That's why. Yeah, that could be the reason why. Yeah. Matt, are you person? I'm trying to remember. Because usually I can remember some things pretty well, but other things I don't know why sometimes it takes a bit of time. Okay. Oh, another clue scroll. Let's go. Thirsted rowers in a house in Draenor. Right, let's see here. What's your combat these days? My combat is 71, 69 strength, 69 hit points, 80 magic, defense is still the same, attacks 48. Trying to get 80 strength, well I guess you've known that for a while now, but yeah, I'm getting there, I'm getting there. Or someone of druids. I think I'm gonna get a full inventory and then I'm gonna do the. Hi guys, 77. Oh yeah. Hey. Yeah, it's like as soon as I hit 75 combat, you're gonna come in. That might be a while though, and I think by the time I get 75 combat, I might already have 80 strength. I'll have to see. Oh, there's Hendrix. If you oh, nice. I liked how you stayed 40 defense. Oh, there's Hendrix. Oh, glad to have you in the stream, Hendrix. By the way, guys, if you want to know what kind of, well, I don't know if you guys are interested. Well, while I've not been streaming, I've been watching this Japanese YouTuber named Ken Kenobi. I guess he names himself Kenobi because he's a big Star Wars fan. Um, I didn't realize some people actually didn't know about like Obi-Wan Kenobi. I guess not everyone knows about Star Wars. Even if they know about it, maybe they don't know about the characters. But yeah, like he's really come a long way, and I'm actually glad I've kind of spent time with him, just kind of like just talking back and forth, and because I feel like the Japanese now they've come to understand me better. Because I think at first when I would tell them I was Rainbow Japanese, they were like, what does he mean? Like why does he see himself as part of us? But I Japanese YouTuber called Izumi Kaya, like when I told her about my ancestry, she was like, and I actually recently found out because I didn't know about this recently. I was related to like a lot of medieval Asians who came to Hungary, I guess, in the medieval period. Not necessarily, they weren't like all Huns or Mongols or Turks or things like that, but there were these people known as the Uran Avar. Well, Japanese they call them Joron, but another way to call them is Ruran Avar Senpi Senpai. So I guess what happened with them is that in the medieval period, they were originally like in northeastern Asia, so like close to like Korea and northeast China and Mongolia and all that area. I guess before it was Mongolia, or before the Mongols were there. But I guess what happened was that they got into a fight with because they were the senpai. They were kind of like the it's like an I don't want to. Hopefully, this is not a bad example, but it's like a Japanese company where you have the employee and then you have the senpai, or you have the boss or whatever. And I guess at the time, the people who kind of making the blacksmiths for the Ron or senpai were they called them the Guk Turks. So I guess they were the ancestors of the Turks, and they were for a time they were the blacksmiths of Iran. But what happened is that I guess the Gokturks not only got tired of, being blacksmiths for the Iran, but they, they kind of took it a step too far. Like they not only like revolted, but they wanted to like subjugate the Iran. So it's kind of like imagine like if you worked at a Japanese company. I know this is a weird example. Imagine you worked at a Japanese company, and not only did you like resign from position, which actually I think is a good thing. Sometimes it is good to do that. But they not only did that, but now they wanted to say, now we want to be the new boss, and now we're gonna treat you, not only as, I'm the employer and you're the employee, but like in like a really bad situation. So what happened is that the Ruran, Avar, Jodol, and Senpi Senpai, they went in all different directions. Some of them went to Europe. I think some of them went to the Americas, and that's how the Eskimo came to be. Or I guess, there were Eskimos even before the modern Eskimo, or the Inuit. And so that's why like some of the Arctic natives look more similar to modern Japanese, just because, well, because I'm starting to realize that the Ruran, Avar, Jodol, and Senpi Senpai, really they were kind of like Northeast Asian, ancient Northeast Asians. They went in all these, they were like dragons, who went in all these different directions. Like some went into Europe, some went into the Americas, some went into Japan, and I guess that's how the Yayoi, or like that's how like some of the Japanese have like Northeast Asian ancestry. So it's like not necessarily on Chinese, but it's kind of like steppe nomadic ancestry. And so it's one of those things where, um, oh yeah, no, appreciate you telling me that, Bjorn. I mean, Hendrix. I know I appreciate it. Um, yeah, you know what the interesting thing too is I have a Danish American dentist, and he and I get along pretty well. And he has such a fascination with Korea. My mom does too. My mom really loves Korea. And I was looking at the DNA of, because my dad partner both wanted me to look at their ancestry, and I realized, interestingly enough, some of the Vikings had a Y paternal haplogroup related to Asian. Like they weren't. I guess what I'm trying to say is like the same people I was mentioning earlier, like the Ruran, Avar, Jodol, and Senpi Senpai, who like these nomadic Asians, or they're like the senpai, like notice me senpai, but they were like, I guess they contributed to like the warriors of the samurai, uh, nomadic horsemen. Yeah, went to Europe, like Hungary, that area. Um, but I realized too, the Vikings, some of them had the same paternal, like, I mean, not the same exact subclade, but it was like at one point they were both from like Northeast Asia, and I guess they went in different directions. And so I don't know if that's why, like, I mean, maybe there was another reason why he feels connected to Korea. But I was starting to think, well, maybe there's like some kind of ancestral connection. He feels that maybe a long time ago he had ancestors that were really closely related to Korea. So that was really interesting to think about. Because although I do feel a connection with Korea in a sense, I feel a little bit more connected to Japan. And I think the Koreans, even though I haven't like spoken to them verbally about this, I feel like, because I know some Koreans are like into vision, like having vision, and like some Japanese, that I think some of them like they understand why I guess I see myself more as Japanese. I don't know, like I feel like it's close. Like I feel like I do feel connection with Koreans in a way, and I do feel connection with Japanese. Um, and then of course Chinese. Like I guess it kind of depends. Like I guess it depends with anyone, obviously, but yeah, like there's some Chinese I get along really well with, and then there are others that I don't really understand their kind of way of thinking. But my Japanese, I told you the Japanese streamer earlier, Ken Novi, he, like, I'm gonna try to see if I can explain this. So, like, he was watching a stream of, like, I'm gonna try to get the words out. Like, he was watching a stream of, like some people from maybe I don't want to explain that video because it's a little bit crazy. But another example I could give you, like that's kind of tangential to what he was that like there was a Chinese guy who interviewing a Chinese YouTuber named Yang, and he got upset that I don't know why he'd get upset, but he was like I guess he got upset like with Asian women dating that wasn't Chinese, and said something like why do we want more of these half Asian, like he used the word freak, and I think Ken like would say like that's not good because Ken in one of his videos he did say something along the lines of you know one thing is to not like someone if they're causing problems, like for example if I'm gonna try to see if I can give it like I guess for him like someone causing a problem is like I guess there was like a video of it was weird like I don't know if it was like in Austria or Hungary or something, but there were these people who planted a bomb a vending machine. And I've never seen something like that before. Like they literally like planted like a bomb or something. and, and like it exploded and then like all the food came out. So like I can understand that. Like I can understand like why Ken may be a little bit more hesitant with people who do stuff like that. But then Ken said like, okay, so that's one thing. But if you literally don't like someone because they just look foreign, and I guess when he means foreign, I guess it could, either they're just of a different background or just of a different way of thinking, like that. He said, then that's not good. And so like, so yeah, so like when I saw that video with that guy from China saying, we don't want half freaks, like, just like, I don't know where some of these people like get this kind of thinking, kind of like, in my mind, it's like you think there's like something that they have to work through. And I don't know, maybe I look at things differently because I'm kind of like a rainbow of ancestry. Like I got so many things in me. I remember my realtor, or not only him but other people, they sometimes get spooked out when I tell them I have an uncle. I call him Uncle Cherokee Japanese Herman, and then they get spooked out because he's like, whoa, he's German and Japanese, and it's like, oh no, it's okay. I'm Ryanbu Japanese. It's okay. And then they're like, okay, he's rainbow ancestry. So, but yeah, I know, like, because like for me, it's like I really kind of wanted to understand like all the different kinds of groups of people that make me up because just related to so many different people. Like I got like Japanese, I got Celtic, I got Norse. Actually, next expansion for Final Fantasy 14 is going to be a big Norse expansion, so I'm really excited for that. I got Greek, I got Roman, Germanic, and just like what else? Uh, Belgic, yeah, just so many different ancestries. And I've tried to learn about each group because like there's like a lot of information to learn about each ancestral group, like the Celts, and Romans, and Greeks, and Latins, and Norse, and Japanese, and just all even natives. But even though like they're also connected to Asians, some of them are also connected to Northern European because of shared ancient North Eurasian ancestry from Siberia. So yeah, it's like really interesting, and maybe I don't know if like that's why like because I was thinking in my mind like I was watching a video with I think it was like a Norwegian exchange student with a girl from Mexico or a girl with native Mexican American ancestry, and I always thought to myself, it's like wow, like out of all the places for tacos to become such a big kind of event, it happened in Norway, or I guess I don't know if they have it in Sweden or Denmark too. But then I was looking at the ancestry and I was like, oh wow, so like I guess aside from the Asian ancestry that some of the natives have, they really are more closely related to I guess, Northern Europeans if you look at the ancient North Eurasian steppe ancestry. And so, like, that's the ancestry that's not quite Asian, like more, trying to say, it's, I don't know, it's just, I guess it's just a steppe ancestry more related to Europeans, but yeah, no, that was like really cool to like learn about and just kind of like see like how they got along and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm trying to think of the event or the not cele I don't know why I think it's a celebration. It's like a um I'm trying to think. Um I don't know if you yeah, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right if you're still watching Bjorn. Or I mean Hendrix. I don't know why I keep confusing you guys sometimes, but yeah. Yeah, so it says Friday Taco in Norway is called Fredags Taco or Taco Fredag. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah, I always thought that was kind of interesting, like when I heard about it, because like I know in the U.S. we have Taco Tuesday, but I guess for you guys you have Taco Fridays. That's pretty interesting. Yeah, let me see. I've also been watching this like on and off with like of this one guy. It's kind of funny. He's I think he's like a quarter Amazonian, part Swedish and part German. He's been doing these videos about being in the Amazon rainforest. I guess he moved there in Ecuador, country in South America, and he I guess married one of the Amazonian women down there. And I guess he brought his friends with him too, and that's been quite a trip. Like I know like some people might think it might sound strange, but it really isn't like because you know when you look at kind of you know I guess what people don't realize is we're more connected than people think, and just kind of seeing stuff like that is like really and oh and then the other thing too like Ken did a video I think last night or the night before and he he was like in the middle of Tokyo, I think, and Shibuya or Shinjuku or one of the main hubs there. And he got into like the middle of like a Chilean TV reporter who was broadcasting on live Chilean TV, and like it was crazy like how he went from not only live streaming on YouTube but also streaming on Chilean TV, and that was really cool. Yeah, just a lot of neat stuff. Like I love to see stuff like that because like I love, especially nowadays, like with a lot of things, I feel like needing to kind of thaw out, kind of like ice. Like you hold an ice cube and then at first it kind of it might feel like it might hurt a little bit or might feel like a little bit too cold, but just seeing stuff like that just really helps like thaws that in such a nice way. And I know it sounds strange because you might say, you know, like Jem, like, why are you talking about this in the middle of the summer? You know, it's so hot. I'm like, I know, but still, I don't know. I just feel like the last couple of years, or yeah, at least the last couple of years, like I think there's been a lot of chaos, like world, or not only like you know, like in the news, but even just like a lot of natural disasters, like a lot of fires, a lot of you know, there was an earthquake in Japan. Actually, I think a few, and of course, a lot of stuff has happened. But you know, when I see stuff of people coming together, I just feel so much better. Like it's always nice. But yeah, it's just like it's just really like oh yeah. So the Japanese YouTuber Zumikaya, she told me, um, and this really kind of spoke to my heart because unfortunately, like a lot of the Native American tribes in the U.S. and Canada specifically, and even partially Latin America too. There's a sentiment that like if you're not 25% or more native or that part of the ancestry, they kind of start pushing you out of the tribe or their circle. And when Azumi Kaya told me, gem or shining, you know, even if you only have a little bit of Japanese ancestry in you, you connect with us so much, and it's still, and you've shown us, you have some of that ancestry in you, and it's part of your identity. And when she said that, it really touched me, because actually, um, the other part of my ancestry that really spoke to me too is like, for example, um, Maffy from Britain. She would say I was her favorite Scottish American. Even though sometimes her and my dad joke, I don't know why they have this thing about. Sometimes they'll call me Luigi, but I prefer Louis because I don't really feel like a Luigi. I mean I do have some like Roman and Greek ancestry and all that, but I just don't really. I just feel like Louis is always kind of Louis was kind of always suit better, even though I do like the Mario character from Mario Bros. But yeah, it's just one of those things where she told me, I was one of her favorite, um, Scottish Americans, and one reason why I grow my beard actually, aside from growing my hair, is I would tell people, if I never grew my beard, people would never see the deep red hairs that sometimes comes out of my beard. Because like sometimes when I'm even though I have like a kind of a dark beard, sometimes there will be times where I'll get like these deep red hairs coming out of my beard. And I don't know, like I love them. Like I just feel like because I know some people like feel like there's like a stigma with redheads, or they don't like having red hair for whatever reason. But I don't know. For me, I think it's just kind of neat to have both. And but yeah, it was like, and I think my uncle has understood me better now. Like, he's kind of told me, now I understand why you feel part Japanese. And actually, my uncle, he like, I think he sees it a bit in himself too now, because I think maybe at the beginning struggled a bit, but because like his grandmother, maternal grandmother, or my great grandmother on his maternal side, she looked kind of like a geisha, from Japan. And but yeah, no, I think he kind of he understands it now. And yeah, and just to be able to spend time with the Japanese, like even though I've only visited the country once, I do want to visit again, because I don't know, like I really like the Japanese almost kind of feel like a second family in a way, or like at least kind of like, I don't know, like it almost kind of feels like how I feel sometimes, like with Maffy, or even sometimes with you Hendrix a little bit, like if it's not second family, at least like cousins. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, no, it's just like it's always something. It's really cool to kind of have like these kind of these connections with everyone all over the world, where even if some people would say, how do you feel related to like all these different people? I would say, well, it just all feels connected to me. And so, but yeah, like, and I do want to go to Britain or Ireland one more, well, or I've at least been to Britain once. Like I've been to Japan once. I kind of want to go there one more time. I've kind of been also letting things kind of like cool off a little bit too, because thankfully in Japan, I mean, even though like there have been some crazy people gone to Japan as well and have caused problems. I was watching this one guy. I guess it happens everywhere though, or most places, where there was a guy in Japan. I don't know if he was from Nigeria, or somewhere else, but he said he had lived in Japan for over 25 years, and I think this is something like across all different countries, not only just Japan, but Spain, France, or Britain, where I don't know why they don't like being filmed, or I'm trying to see how I can explain it. It's kind of like sometimes like they won't even point the camera at the guy, and then the guy will kind of cause problems, like want to like touch the camera or damage the camera, or because I guess this even happens like in Europe and other places too. And one of those things where thankfully, not all people from Nigeria or from other parts of Africa, they don't all do that thing. But it's just one of those things where, because like, there is this YouTuber I watch. He half Japanese, half Nigerian, and I really love his content because it's like kind of like back to what Ken was saying, like, because like I think there were some people trying to like, you know, jump on, trying to see how I can explain it. Like there were some people that were trying to tell Ken like, basically, we need to get all these foreigners out of Japan, and Ken's like, I don't really think like that. One thing is, trying to get people out that are causing problems, like, for example, setting a bomb in I don't know why people do that still though. Setting a bomb in a vending machine, or I guess, you know, um, I don't know if damaging too many cameras. But yeah, it's just like he said, it's one thing doing that, and the other thing you just don't like someone. Where do they come from? And the way I kind of look at it is that, um, because I think a lot of people have this notion, and I think even my dentist told me, a lot of the Asians are very discriminatory. And I told him like I don't like even though on the surface it seems like some of them are, and especially like I think there are some, especially like some people in China, like I'm sure there's some Chinese obviously I've met not like that, but yeah, like I don't know why it happens there a little bit more, but at least with like the Japanese, like I think deep down I I know sometimes people like they might say, yeah, I'm like, how can that be? But I just tell people like you really get to know the Japanese. Like I think deep down, a lot of them are they're more like I think if they get along well with you, like no matter where you're from, I think that's what they are most concerned about. Um and then I think anything after that's kind of secondary in a way. I don't know, like it's just one of those things where, because like my dentist was saying, how have they been going with you? And I just told him, hey, it's fine. I do feel connected to them because it is part of my ancestry, but I just say like, I think the thing with them is also like it's like with anyone, like I think when people don't spend time with each other, it's easy to kind of, be a little bit weary of each other. But I told them, the more time I've spent with them, the more they've come to understand me. Where, oh, there's someone trained. Like, where, like at first, like, they were like, guy, but I think after a while, like, they're like, okay, like, now we understand who Jem is. Now we understand why he says he's Rainbow Japanese. The reason why I call myself Rainbow is because in Japan, if you're half Japanese, they call you a hafu. If you're a quarter Japanese, they call you a quarter fu. And I just tell them I'm not a half fu, I'm not a quarter fu, and I don't really like saying a fu. I think after quarter fu, I think it's like you're pretty much like like one of those rainbow anime anime characters. So like like I don't know, like I just tell them I'm Ryan Boo, and I think over time they've come to understand me. Like why call myself that? And but yeah, no, it's been great. And actually I tell them too, Ryan Boo, because my dentist didn't even know this, even though he's Danish American. I told him that Ryan Boo in you correct me if I'm wrong, Hendrix, but Ryan Boo in was it Norwegian and Danish means rainbow, and so I just and then it's kind of cool because it also sounds like how you would say rainbow in Japanese. Like, I'm not a half foo, I'm not a quarter foo, I'm a rainbow, and so like I just think it's kind of neat. But but yeah, I know like I think they've come to appreciate me. I think they've come to understand like you know Gem is showing us a future where we don't just have to always just be 100% Japanese. Or I guess most people don't know that the Japanese are a mix of different Asians, anyways. But I guess what they're saying is like we don't just have to be 100% Jomon. We don't have to be 100% Yayoi or 100% Kofun Han. We can be so many other different groups of people in addition to. And so like I think I guess the main message that maybe you could that they're taking out of this, and maybe other people as well, is that I guess what they're saying is like, okay, so Gem is showing us. I guess sometimes maybe they're a little bit concerned, what's going to happen if we become, half Japanese, quarter Japanese, or whatever. But I think after getting to know me, I think they understand, like, it's going to be all right. Like, I think even some of like the Herman's told me even some of the natives, native Cherokees are kind of like that too a little bit as well. Um, but no, I think with the Japanese, I think they've already kind of taken the initiative, on like, no, it's gonna be all right. Not to say that like I'm not gonna say like that there's gonna be a time where there's not gonna be anyone that's 100% Japanese left, but I think they understand like we can live in a society where we can still have people that are 100% Japanese, whether it's Domo and Kofun or Yayoi, but we can also have people like him that even though he is part Japanese, he's also showing us so many other parts of his ancestry too, like Celtic, like Norse, like Greek and Roman and Germanic and Belgic and just so many other things. And I'm glad I've been able to do that for them. I think I've been able to even do that here, like where I live in the US and Pacific Northwest. And I think when people get to know me here, they're like, wow, like you're part Japanese, but you're also part so many other things. And I'm like, yeah, like that's just who I am. And like, wow, like it's like amazing how I feel like that. And I'm like, well, that's just how it is. And so it's one of those things where I don't know, like I think like really when people can come to understand each other and like in a healing way, I think it can help out a lot. And one of the other things too, like why I sometimes feel like I'm part Japanese is because I notice like there are some Japanese that struggle to like explain things or struggle to get like their thoughts out. And sometimes I feel the same way too. Like sometimes I feel like I'm trying to say something, but it takes a bit of time for me to collect my thoughts. But yeah, it's like one of those things where um I don't know, like I think that deep down I think Ken said this one time. He said, you know, the one thing that I hope I can show people eventually is love. And he's not trying to be like, because I think some people think he's I guess gay or whatever. I guess because like sometimes they'll watch him like lick ice cream and they'll poke fun at him or whatever. But the thing is that what he's saying is when he means love, he means like people coming together and stuff like that. And yeah, like one of those things where it's one of those things where I definitely do agree with him on that in the sense that I think that there is a way for things to be genuinely multicultural or multi-ethnic, but like in Japan, like for example, like I think a few nights ago he was trying to find someone to date on the streets. He has a way of I guess trying to hate people, but like it was super peaceful. It's like you had people from all different backgrounds or people from different backgrounds, and the streets of Japan were just fine. They were just quiet. They were nice, getting along. And of course, some people were not having a good time after drinking, but I guess that's a whole different story. Um, but it's just like one of those things where I think because I know sometimes people there'll be things on the news like sometimes in the U.S. but like especially in Europe about like how are we gonna be able to function with all these different groups of immigrants or all these different groups of people coming together. And I say I think there is a way to do it because in Japan they've been able to do it. Um, so I think like if Japan can do it, I think many other countries. But I think it also comes down to the individual. Do they themselves? Do they? But at least learn to get to know each other. Um, and of course, even still in Japan, there are still problems, anyways. Because, like I told you, unfortunately, there are some people that will still want to pick a fight with you, like if like you're streaming, or there's some people who will, just do some other things that are not always nice. But um, and I guess that's gonna happen. Even if you do try your best, but when I do see instances of people actually getting along and people actually having a good time and people actually, you know, enjoying each other's company, it's just such a nice sight. And I don't know. That's what I've understood from the other Japanese. That I think really deep down, they do want people to come together. Um, but they've just, I think when you show them, and I think that's what they've learned from me. It's like they're like, okay, we know Jem. You know, he says he's part Japanese. He's shown us that, and he's shown us, other parts of who he is. Like, we're, really have come to get to know him. I think that's the most important thing, and also, I think if you can do small things like learning a little bit of language, learning a little bit of the culture, I think that goes for any country, whether it's Japan or Norway, uh, you know, Britain, Spain, or France, you know, I think if you show people, hey, like I'm here to actually contribute in a well-meaning way, I think they respect that, and I think most people do in general. Like I think that's that's more than just something from Japan, but yeah, um, I don't know. Like I, at least what I appreciate about the Japanese seems like most of them are willing to put the effort to kind of work towards that. But I know there are some groups that, for whatever reason, they struggle a lot more doing. Like sometimes I don't know why, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where sometimes you have to be patient with people, or it's like sometimes like something I would want to tell Ken or other people, like you can help people, but sometimes you have to let them help themselves. So it's kind of like like imagine if you had someone say, "Hey, like I want you to take me to the ramen shop every day," and of course you can do that some days, but then I have to tell them one day, well, you can also take yourself to the ramen shop too, because I had an instance with a friend that he car broke down and he needed a ride to work. And said, hey, can you do days for me? That's fine. And so I did it for him for a few days, and then after a few days, like I asked him, hey, are you gonna get your car fixed? And he was like, well, I'm gonna spend my money on the latest special edition for Final Fantasy VII, where nothing wrong with that, by the way. But the thing is like he also didn't have the money. If he did that, he wouldn't have the money, I guess, to repair his car or whatever. And so he's like, and so like when I came back home, I just told him, know, hey, like, his name's Taylor, by the way. Like Taylor, like, sorry, but you're gonna have to find like another way to get to work. And he's like, you know, Jem, you can't tell me what to do. Like, you know, this is my life, this is my money. And then he said, you know, no, you're right, Jem. You know, you're actually being a friend. And it's one of those things where it's like, it's like sometimes you want to help people, but then other times, you know, there are times where you have to let them help themselves too. And I'm trying to think of an example like of that in Japan. Like, I guess an example of someone having to help themselves is okay, so maybe like I know there's a weird example, but it's like, you know, imagine in Japan, like if like imagine like I told you about the guy earlier who was breaking cameras with anyone who had a camera, even if they weren't directly pointing the camera at him. Imagine if there's like a situation where like he's doing that to every single person, like broke like 1,000 cameras in 1 month. I know that sounds insane, but just imagine that happened. And it's like, then the Japanese have to, you know, they might start saying, you know, listen, like, we understand you don't want to get filmed, but you know, there's a difference between not wanting to be filmed and breaking 1,000 cameras. And so I don't know, like that'd be like a situation where I guess we'd have to, well, of course it's an individual choice at the end of the day, but something that, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like there's there's like a point in time where there has to be like a balance. Like, you know, you can't. It's like you can't just pick a fight with everyone because you know, they have a pool that don't like or whatever. But yeah, one of those things. And I know some of this stuff sounds like common sense, but um, I don't know. I just think like there's a way to go about it. There's a way to find that balance where, you know, for example, like if you really don't like someone streaming because they have a camera, you know, you can always just walk away. You know, you don't have to, you know, it's like, yeah, you can just walk away. It's like, or yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's one of those things. Because I know Ken said like in Japan, like there are some people that, you know, like there are some Japanese that don't like to be interviewed, like on camera. But I think the difference with them is that, um, I guess when Ken's streaming, like I guess if they don't want to be interviewed or whatever, they just either walk away or tell them I don't want to be interviewed. Like I guess they don't get violent with him, you know. And yeah, like I still don't I still don't get that. I'm like, in the back of my mind, I don't really understand it, but. And you know the cool thing is, because I know there's been about over tours and lately. But the last couple of videos I've seen with Ken, it seems very quiet in Japan now. I don't know if it's because it's an off season, whatnot. But Japan seems like really quiet, like in a good way. I mean, of course there are people still going there and stuff. Um, but it was like one of the few times in Japan where I just felt like it was finally calm again. And I hope it can get like that too for other parts of the world too, because the one reason why I haven't visited Britain, or even Ireland, um, or at least you know, because like I have visited Britain once, but I haven't been to Ireland yet, or at least not this life journey, uh, physically in person. But yeah, it's just one of those things that's like I've been seeing news, like for example, Dublin or like in parts of Northern Ireland, where it's like buses are on fire and buildings are being blown up, and I don't know, like even in Britain, like nuts too. It's one of those things where I do know some people do like the chaos, like for example, like in Korea, there's a guy by the name of Johnny who causing some problems there, and things were getting pretty crazy in Korea, and so that was one reason why I didn't want to visit, because I was like, I kind of want to wait for things to kind of mellow down over there. Um, but yeah, like when I saw Japan finally kind of calm, or just finally kind of felt like kind of peaceful again, or kind of you know, I don't know, like it just kind of felt nice. Um, yeah, I just felt much better about it, and yeah, like I don't know if you guys feel the same way, because I know some people like chaos, or some people love the hustle and bustle, and there's nothing wrong with that per se, because I know hustle and bustle like that. Um, but yeah, just to finally get that quiet moment, just felt really nice. Hopefully, what I'm speaking about, hopefully it's not boring you guys, because I know I know it's not for everyone, but I at least wanted to share, because the thing is that oh I know we've been going through a cycle lately in the world, but I'm just glad that there are moments still where where you can find that balance, or you can find that um I don't know, that just kind of point in time where people are getting along. And yeah, like, because I really do like to see that. I really do like to see coming together. But yeah, the that's why I guess that's why we have to lead by example, because sometimes people say, hey, I want to make a difference, I want to be better, I want that. But until you actually show people that, or maybe it's just me, maybe I'm the kind of person where I feel like if you want to show people like how you want to kind of be a positive influence, you kind of have to. I feel like you kind of have to show people that through who you are, or or you're leading by example. And I know it's sometimes easier said than done, because like I know sometimes, on the one hand, it can sometimes it feel like it's easier to say these things, and when you actually put it in practice, I know sometimes it can be a bit difficult, but yeah, like it's I kind of laugh because I think of Bjorn from Norway, and like he says, if you have an IQ higher than your shoe number, because what happens in his stream is that, and I guess lately he hasn't gotten as many people who believe the Earth is flat. Uh, I'm not sure why there's some people who still believe the Earth is flat. I'm sure there's a reason, but there are some people who would tell them, they'd say crazy stuff like you're going to hell for believing in Odin. But they also do that to the Japanese too. So it's not only the Norse. Like in Japan, they'll say, "Oh, you're going to wherever, because you believe in Shinto shrines and Buddhism and all that." And it's crazy, because it's one of those things where I don't think people realize, um, you know, I think every culture has um, kind of has root, and so do people from Europe, like the Norse or the Scandinavians, and I don't know, it's just like weird stuff like, oh, so and I don't know. I think they would they would ask Bjorn, why do you believe that the Earth is not flat? Or I don't know how many times they would ask him that. But yeah, it's just one of those things where um, just like crazy stuff. It'd be cool to one day visit Norway. I know I've heard, some people say it can be fairly expensive. But when I told Bjorn from Norway, I don't know why I thought a bottle of water was $8 there. Maybe I was thinking Switzerland or something. But he was like, no, bottled water is an $8 here. You can get water from the tap or whatever. So he was pretty accommodating. Pretty accommodating to like say like, hey, like, if people ever visit here, I'm going to help them out. Um, but yeah, it's just like one of those things where um, trying to find the words for it. Um, like I think communication is like I think sometimes people like they either don't know how to communicate well, like I don't know. It's kind of crazy. What's even more crazy? It's like, I mean, I know at the end of the day, like even if you have Scandinavian ancestry, it's like you don't have to necessarily believe the Norse gods or goddesses or whatnot, but if there's like, but it still feels really weird to me, like when like if there's someone that's a Norwegian American telling Bjorn who's Norwegian, you know, you know, you're gonna go, you know, you're super bad. Still talking about Odin and stuff like that, or Freya or whatever. I don't understand that. Like, it leaves me a little bit confused, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I guess it goes back to what Bjorn was saying. Like, you have an IQ higher than your student. I'm not saying everyone is. I'm not saying he's trying to say everyone. A lot of people are very stupid, but I don't know. Like, it just I always just kind of found that a little bit strange. Because I think at least like for example um when it comes to like I don't know how many times I've heard like an Italian American tell like an Italian, oh you're such a bad person for talking about Zeus or Ares or Athena or Hera or like yeah. And then I think with when it comes to Celtic ancestry, I think it's kind of split because there's some people find talking about like again Dagda and Luke stuff like that, and then other people it's a little bit different. But yeah, it's like I think what it is like I think people sometimes um they just don't know that because like I know I go back to the example of Japan where we're talking about like trying to put people down Shinto for connecting to Shinto shrines or the fox shrines, naughty shrines, and but the thing is, at the end of the day, like people have a culture at least of some kind. One thing is say hey like I don't believe in fox spirit, and the others like to say, well I'm gonna berate you and I'm gonna burn this fox shrine down because um I don't like what you I don't like like you connecting with fox spirits. I don't know. It's just it's just really weird. Um, yeah. Or like, like for example, I guess in Norway, like I don't know what an example would be. I'm going to I'm gonna yell at you, have these Norse runes or whatever. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like it's just one of those things where in the back of my mind, it's kind of like there's other ways to handle things. I mean, there's a reason why. For example, like even with the game RuneScape, there's a reason why it has rune in the name. And so yeah. Like imagine someone playing RuneScape. They're like, yeah, these runes, you're gonna, you're gonna, you're gonna fall off a cliff after using them. Yeah. And you think a lot of this happens online, and at times it does happen often online too, but it also happens in person as well. And the thing with me is that I'm the kind of person, whether I'm online or I'm in person, I like to be who I authentically am. I guess if that makes sense. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, because like I think sometimes people, um, I think it's getting better now. Maybe things are different now. I think, but I think there was a time where, ooh, that looks so scroll. Where people, trying to think way to say it. It's like people words for it. It's kind of like one of the, it's kind of like one of those things where, like, I think sometimes people might be like afraid to show their quote unquote true selves, like I guess online for person, but I just never really felt like that. I've always just kind of been myself, whether I'm online or talking to someone in person. And I think that's just easier for people to do. Like just like say like, hey, like I'm talking to Jem online, and then the next day, oh, I'm talking to Jem in person. And yeah, I don't know, like that's just me. Me, I guess it's like a way for people not to like necessarily like second guess them, like second guess themselves. Like, okay, it's really cool. I think that's one reason why too. Sometimes I love watching live streams, whether like it's like what I'm doing right now, or whether it's like Ken, walking around, and because it's like also nice to like kind of like see like the person live in person. Um, and that's the other thing too. Like I know some people like online, like when they do stuff online, some people prefer to just either text or whatever, and that's fine. Some people prefer to only do like live where they're showing their face and all that. I'm kind of in the middle because I feel like for me, like I don't feel like you always have to show your face, but I also feel like you don't always have to show you don't always just have to write in text either. I feel like voice is like a middle ground because I feel like if you can hear a person's voice, like get a better idea of who the person is. Like even if you're not watching their face or whatever, like 24/7. It's like I feel like if you know like how a person sounds for a while, get to know who that person is. And of course, I've shared photos of myself like on the Discord server, and other people have as well. If you guys want to, if anyone new here and they haven't joined it yet, you guys are more than welcome to. But yeah, like I don't know, I feel like I'm not the kind of person where I feel like I have to. Like my uncle Herman, he's very much about. He calls it five senses. He always likes to first do stuff always like or likes to do it that way. For me, I'm kind of in the middle. Like sometimes I like to do things in person, sometimes text, just have a phone call, or have like a live stream like that. Yeah, it's like I don't know. It's one of those things where I guess like I look at it a bit differently. But yeah, I know the one reason why I like doing these live streams, it's just no, it's just always nice to meet new people. Always nice to, and that was one thing that was kind of cool about Ken's videos is that walking around Shinjuku, Shibuya in Japan, and he's talking to all these different people. And I love to see content like that. Like I know some people don't, but I love to see stuff like that. And there are times where kind of like in the back of my mind, it would be cool like if there was a place close by, like here in US, where you could just like walk in the really nice, like safe, like cities. Really just have a good time with meeting all these different kinds of people. Like, because like I do love I do love seeing stuff like that, and I know like in the US there might be a few places like that. But of course, like in Japan, even Japan, you have to be careful now. I feel like because, like I told you, even though some people have this idea that Japan's like super safe, and it is safe to that, but there's still people like I guess anywhere, but like in Japan, like I told you guys, like there was that one guy who had his camera damaged because the one guy didn't like him streaming for whatever reason. And and that actually even happened to Ken actually. And he I think he was born and bred in Japan. And there's this one guy that just he said stop streaming, and Ken was like, no, I'm not going to do that like this. And the guy wanted to like take his camera away. Yeah, and so that to me I don't I still don't get that. But yeah, it's like it's one of those things where um it's one of those things where things can happen regardless, where things are not always connected, as it were. Well, when things do go well, it is such a nice feeling. Like for example, like like I'm thinking of like stuff I've done together on the stream with you guys. Like for example, like doing Cow Fight Queen, or yeah, Cow Fight Queen with with you Hendrix and Bjorn. I think Matt, you were there too, and so many other people. Like that was so much fun. Also KBD, doing that together was fun. And yeah, it's just like group activities like that is always great. And I've been trying to I've been trying to I've been trying to be more social. Like I've been trying, or I guess what I'm trying to say, like I've been trying to I don't know. I've been trying to like um, stir the pot a bit more. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, but yeah, like but that's why like I do these streams as well, just because it's just kind of nice to, because I don't know if it was Bjorn, and this is not Bjorn from Norway. This is another friend. Bjorn, I don't know if there's someone who asked me, like, might have been Matt or something, like, Jem, do you ever play RuneScape when you're not streaming? And I told him, not really, because I feel like I know like some people, of course, can play hours without streaming RuneScape, and I used to do that too. But I feel like when I am playing RuneScape, I feel like if I wasn't streaming for you, like it just wouldn't be as much fun. I love that. I love the interactivity. I guess I love being able to talk to you guys, just shoot the just have some good conversations and all that. But yeah. Oh, Hendrix, sure. I don't know. Matt, you're interested. I got a black full helm. It's not trimmed, but if you guys want to buy it, let me know. I'm gonna get some water real quick. I'll be back. I'm back, guys. Refilled my water. I've been drinking a lot of cool tea lately. I know some people like to have their ice cold tea sweet, but I actually drink cold tea cold, just like how it is, just like how if I drink hot tea, and it just tastes just as fine. Um, just in the summer, drinking cold tea, oh, it's refreshing. I don't know why. Search the drawers upstairs in the bank. baked our high. It's gonna be really awesome whenever we get Barrows. I'm kind of excited for that. I think that's what's gonna get me to do Nature Spirit or Priest and Barrow eventually. Is when we get Barrows. I love Barrows content. I'm not like in a rush though for it. Like I really have been enjoying 2004Scape for what it is so far, and I think the next big update, like when we get Castle Wars, is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be super fun. Also, the jail guards do aggro you anyway. I guess it's not like a bad training spot if you ever. Not the worst. Oh, I got the infamous Black Axe. Alright, guys. Let me know which one of you guys wants to get this Black Axe. Hold on. Anyone buying it right now? The infamous Black Axe. I gotta find someone who wants to buy this. I feel like there's either not that many people on tonight, or either the world I'm in Singapore, or there's just barely anyone here. It's kind of sad that we lost some servers. Like we lost Japan, we lost. I think there's a server for India. I think there's a server in Russia. I think. I'm trying to remember some other servers, but yeah, we lost quite a few. Or yeah. Or I think I at least remember definitely we had Japan and India for sure. We still got Finland. We still got Australia. I don't know when we'll get more worlds again. I think it's been fine for now, but I hope like in time, hope we can at least go back to, if not 8 worlds, I hope like maybe 6 worlds, like 5 or 6. Yeah. I don't think he's... Hopefully, eventually in time, I'll find someone who's interested in hacks. Nope. Well, I got the axe, so I guess that counts for something. But no, I didn't get any. I got another black full helm as well, but it's not trimmed. Yeah. At least something. Oh, nice. Hope you're enjoying your lunch. Yeah, no, I got a black full helm and I got a black axe, but just the regular ones. I was trying to see if anyone wanted to buy the axe, because usually people like buying it, but couldn't find anyone yet. Hmm? I don't. Well, I'll have to check again. I think it was a regular helm, but let's see. Yeah, I'll check when I go to the bank again, because I thought it was a regular helm, but I'll check. Oh, let me ask Matt. Matt wants another. I don't know if Matt wants to start collecting black axes, but. So collecting burnt bones. Haven't been red dragons for. Yeah, I eventually want to go to red dragons again, but I kind of want to wait till I get 80 strength at least. I kind of miss red dragon content. I kind of miss blue dragon content too. I haven't done dragons in a while in general. Scroll. I really have been lucking out with these clue scrolls. I got 3 in one stream. That's my 40th season too. I've really been enjoying training melee. Really been a lot of fun. Search the crates here. Hendrix, I recently sold out quite a few of my herbs and ore and stuff. I think I sold a lot of it to yeah, nice, and might have been someone else too. But when I build up a good amount again, I'll let you know. I know you like buying those. Yeah, sorry about that. I will go back to dragons eventually. I just want to get my strength level up to 80 first, because like I wanted to build like that part of my account, but yeah, once I get to 80 strength, I kind of want to go for 85 magic eventually, because it's mainly for Flames of Zami, because even though I have 80 magic, you know, if I do get hit by Flames of Zami, it brings my magic down. So my goal is to like, I want to get 80 strength. Maybe I'll do Lost City just so I can get Dragon Longsword DDS. I'll try to get 60 attack as well. And then once I do all that, then I'll probably go back to training magic, because then my next goal would be like 85 magic, 85 strength. So like my build's gonna be probably 80, 60, 40 defense, 43 prayer, 60 attack, 85, or well at least base 80 strength, 80 magic, and then eventually I want to do 85 magic and then 85 strength. I think that's a good build. I think that's because then my magic level would be pretty high up there, and then eventually I could get access to Ice Blitz whenever Desert Treasure comes out. And then 85 strength is just an extra strength bonus. It's crazy though, like I didn't realize, like I'm not saying like we haven't been doing thugs for a while, but it's really nice how we're already at 69 strength. Yeah, that's cool. I was thinking too if I should train magic here for a little bit at thugs as well, but maybe what I'll do is maybe I might train magic a little bit at thugs and then kind of train a bit at dragons too, because I don't know if I'd get more magic XP per hour doing thugs or doing dragons, but I think either way, either way's good. Crazy how we're hitting 15s now. Just a Runescape. Yeah, we've gotten one unique so far. We'll see when we get the next one, but yeah, the Highwayman mask was pretty cool. I don't know how much it is now, but when we sold it, it was I think going for around 400 450K, I think. Now it's going for 240, 320, 350, 500. Pretty good prices. Yeah, we're almost at 70 strength. Wow. Let's do this clue. I probably should my ring. You got a good amount of herbs. No, it's just a black full helm, Hendrix. It's not a trimmed version. Would be cool if it was, but I don't know. The wasps swarm. Okay, search the crates in your carts and one of the sailors in Port Sarum is your next destination. Oh, did I forget my water red? Yeah, getting the Gothic book. Oh, what? I don't know if the music's bugged or something. Um, I'll be back, guys. Give me a sec. Hey guys, I'm back. Yeah, sorry about that. Just had to restroom. Sorry about that. I don't know if you guys are still here. Glad to hear. Just want to let you guys know I've been getting better with my cooking. One thing I realized, I've been finally making my burgers to the where they've been coming out really well every time. And with pizza, I've learned high heat really does wonder. I know before I was cooking the pizza at a lower heat, but now I've been cooking it on 450, a higher rack for. Comes out well. What I noticed with pizza is like, at least with pepperoni pizza, usually cheap. Pepperoni, like I feel like there's still like a little bit of yellow at the top. I don't know if but yeah, now I've been cooking it at 4. That's something. It came out really well. Yeah, I've come to notice that. I guess like at a high heat, there's still always going to be that little bit of yellow on top, but aside from that, though, it's yeah, learning how to cook is such a good skill. I know some people think it's I don't know why some people like something I don't know. I guess it's like how some people some people don't value arts or value painting, and maybe some people don't value cooking as well. But reality is if you don't know how to cook, I mean, unless if you have someone else cook, feed yourself that way. But for me personally, being able to learn how to cook, blessing. How long do you cook your pizza? Well, usually what I do, like on the box, it says cook like that's at 425. The reason why I do 20 minutes at 450 is because number one, I don't like cooking directly on the rack. I usually do that. It kind of makes a mess, like in the oven. So what I do is I usually put on like a pan I have, and so usually I pre oven with pan in it like hours. What? So by the time like I put the on the pan, you know, the pan's usually butter pretty. But I usually just if it's a pepperoni pizza, cheese pizza. Um, I feel like pizza more topping, a bit longer toppings. I think the excess moisture that comes out of peppers, it takes a bit more time to kind of cook through that excess moisture. But yeah, if it's just cheese, I feel like with cheese pizza, and with pepperoni pizza, mic is cutting out. Oh, really? Uh, oh, you know what it is. Okay, let me know if you hear it better now. I don't know if it was cutting mid-sentence because I was moving it back and forth. Is it better now? I I don't know if I was moving my mic or something. I don't know if that's why it was doing that. Um, but yeah, so like it's one of those things where um usually with like pepperoni pizzas, I usually cook it for a little bit longer because it releases excess moisture, and then with or like sometimes supreme pizzas, same thing, and then cheese pizzas I usually cook it a little bit less because since there's not as many toppings on it, it usually cooks a bit quicker. Um, okay. Do you want me to raise my mic audio, by the way? If it's a little bit too low, let me know. But if it's perfect, then I'll keep it how it is. Because I know sometimes you guys tell me, that you want the audio, the game lower or higher. I don't know, like with my mic, if you want it a little bit louder, or the opposite way. But all right, sounds good. Yeah, no, you know, I don't know, like if I was thankful to have a mom that really, I mean, she wasn't just a cook, she was a chef. Like, she really knew how to cook really well. And I think my dad has gotten better over time cooking because I think my dad's partner, Julie, told me that she used to think my dad, or I guess my dad used to think like he was a really good cook, but she said that he really has gotten a lot better in his own way over time too. I just think cooking is like if you I guess it's like in game, like if you really just want to get better at cooking, you just keep going at it. Like keep trying and keep, developing that craft. And what I've come to learn is that one thing with cooking is patience is important, and the willingness to make mistakes too. Willingness, that sometimes things are not always going to come out perfectly, and then you keep going at it, and better at it. My lunch break is over now. Have a good night or day. Take care. All right, Hendrix. Take care. Uh, hope work continues going well for you. But yeah, no, learning how to cook is such a nice thing. In Japan, a lot of people are really good cooks. There's a reason why a lot of people enjoy eating out in Japan because a lot of people know how to cook well. Not a problem. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys had fun watching. Definitely fun doing it tonight for you guys. Always usually a good time. I think 3 clues, easy clues in a row. The stream was really good. But yeah, I think maybe next stream we'll probably get 70 strengths, so looking forward to that. But for now, I think I'm gonna end the stream. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys take care. Bye for now.